Good morning. Welcome. Thanks for tuning into the Kehillat Shari Torah Halacha Review for Wednesday, February 24th. We are coming up on Purim tomorrow night. However, since we completed our review of the laws and customs of Purim, we will start in right away with reviewing laws of Pesach because it's only a month away. We need to refresh our memories, number one. And number two, this year is a complicated situation because we have Pesach, Shabbat is Erev Pesach. Shabbos Erev Pesach happened a couple of times, 2001, 2005 or so, 2008 happened a couple of times, hasn't happened in 15 or so years. We will have that this year. We'll have it again a couple of years down the road, 2024 maybe, and then it won't occur again for a good number of years. So these next couple of years, we'll just keep it in mind. This year, very pertinent. What are the complicating factors? We do a lot of things on Erev Pesach that we're not allowed to do on Shabbat. For example, search the house for chametz, carry around a candle and look in all the nooks and crannies, make sure that all the chametz has been removed from our house. So we can't do that on Shabbos, on Friday night. So what are we going to do? We're going to move it back. Spoiler alert, we're going to move it back one night. Fast of the firstborn, we usually come together and either hear a siyum or we actually do fast. We're not allowed to fast on Shabbos though. So how do we observe the customary fast of the firstborn? We'll have to talk about that. Even more pertinent to all of us, even those who aren't firstborns, is that Erev Pesach, we're not supposed to eat matzah. We want to have the taste of the matzah. Some people actually abstain from matzah from Purim onwards, some people from Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and everyone's required not to abstain from matzah on Erev Pesach, so that you'll have an appetite for it when you sit down to the Seder and start munching away at your matzahs for the Seder. Now, it being Shabbat, we are required to have two meals. We're required to have a Friday night meal and a daytime meal. Some say also to wash and make hamotzi for Se'udah Shlishit. So, if we're not allowed to have matzah, we can't make hamotzi on matzah. If we're not supposed to have chametz because we're supposed to have cleaned out our houses by then, what's a Jew supposed to do? So we're going to talk about all those things in the couple of days to come. So let's jump right in. Usually we would take a slower easing into this approach and go through laws of Pesach and tell you what's different. Let's try it a different way this year. Let's talk about what's different and special and unique, the laws of Erev Pesach when it occurs on Shabbat. This all from Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. I have other sources to give you also, but let's start with this. So here's what Kitzur Shulchan Aruch writes. If Erev Pesach occurs on Shabbat, as it does this year, we make the search for chametz on the eve of the 13th of Nisan, that is Thursday night. That, in fact, is what we'll do this year. Usually we would do it the night before the Seder, 24 hours before the Seder, but that's going to be Friday night, so we're not going to be carrying around a candle and a feather and all that. So we will do it on the night of the 13th of Nisan. So Thursday night before the Seder, we will make the search for chametz. After concluding the search, you nullify the chametz, like it says in the Haggadah, by saying kol chamira and so on, as in other years. And on Friday, you burn it. At the same time, you burn it every Erev Pesach, but you don't say kol chamira then on Friday morning when you're burning the chametz. When do you say the second kol chamira? On Shabbos, after the meal, you nullify it and say kol chamira. We're going to talk about that also. We mentioned the firstborn fast. The fast of the firstborn is always on Erev Pesach also. We're going to move that fast back to Thursday. And if it's difficult for a firstborn to fast until after the search for the chametz, they may have a small snack before making the search, or else appoint someone else as their agent to make the search, and then they can sit down and eat a meal. But they should make sure that the search is carried out. What's going to happen with those of us who are firstborns, we will arrange for a siyum to be made, and we'll do it on Zoom, presumably, as we did last year. Unfortunately, now we're already around to the second year of doing these crazy things on Zoom. So we will let you know what time that's going to be on Thursday, Erev Pesach, and we'll make sure that anyone who needs to hear that siyum can in fact hear it and will not need to fast on Thursday, and not on Friday and not on Shabbos, as should be. All right, so we'll talk about more things in the days to come. Please stay tuned. Remember that speaking of fasting, tomorrow is Tainus Esther, from sun up to sundown, just until the reading of the Megillah begins, and hopefully we're going to arrange that for about 6:45, and we will in fact let you know what the Zoom link is for that and what time we'll be doing the reading both on Thursday night and on Friday. So since tomorrow is Tainus Esther, it is customary to give the machatzit shekel, a half shekel. What do? We give $3.50 of the country that we happen to be living in. So the best advice this year, usually we have these three silver Canadian $half in the shul that everyone picks up and buys and puts down back into the pot. We probably will not be doing that this year. Best advice is this: take 2 loonies and give the 2 loonies to tzedakah. This should be your intention when you do that. When you put them in a pushka, is say that $1/2 of the first dollar is one of the $half. The other half of the first dollar is the second one. 1/2 of the second loonie is the third of the 3 half shekels we're supposed to give, and the remaining $half, the remaining 50 cents from the second dollar, is to be given to tzedakah just as it is. Okay, so if you do that, you'll be having the right intentions for a machzis shekel. All right, we should have a freilich and Purim and a kosher Pesach, or as some people say, a kosher and Purim and a freilich and Pesach. We'll talk about that later too. Have a good day.